Go. All right. Welcome to another episode of the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. I'm your host, Graham Powell on this screen. That's Michelle Zingulis on the other. Say, hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope you're having a great day, Michelle.
That's too many words.
All right. Okay. Well, anyway, again, we're the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. Before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience, track it with your fitness app of choice, screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the Submit Results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X, Instagram, and TikTok at TR Don't Last. Okay, so the running season has pretty much come to a close, or it already has, but there's been some other things going on, basically like fun run type of stuff. All the running clubs in Arkansas had the last chance run yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Getting my days screwed up a little bit here. Saturday morning, it was at War Memorial in Little Rock. I did not go. I would have gone had my brother wanted to get a run in yesterday and basically wanted to do it that early and do it somewhere else than just around where we live or I live. And but he wasn't feeling too great. And so I just said, well, I'm not gonna, I guess I'll just sleep in. Bummer. I was very tired Friday night anyway, as you saw firsthand. But I did get a run in. I hit up the treadmill at the gym, at the work gym for the first time, and I was quickly reminded of why I like running outside more. But it's actually really nice here today where we live. I mean, it's in the 60s, right?
I have that it's 59.
Really? Well, it feels warmer than that. Either way, that's very good running temps for running outside. Now, yesterday was a very ugly day. It just rained all day. So it's still pretty nasty out, but the sun did make an appearance today. But I'm going to take the day off from running. I may get one in tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll see. Probably for sure New Year's Day. But yeah, it's the holiday season. We are between Christmas and New Year's. Um, but yeah, I I've actually gotten a decent amount of running in between now and then. Ran Christmas Eve, ran again at work, like I said, Friday. But yeah, took the weekend off just to do some relaxing and just other stuff I've been putting off because of work and everything else. Grand Prix prep, etc. But with the Grant 2025, excuse me, Grand Prix, wow, cough button. Around the corner, a little less than a month away from the first race now. I officially signed up for it, so I'm officially in the 2025 Grand Prix. I, of course, said many times on the show I was not going to do it in 2025, and I kind of just steadily went back and forth on changing my mind and made it official that I'm going to do it. So I'm not going to go iron because I feasibly can't. I have 2 pacing commitments during 2 races. One in June 7th, which is the Andy Bushman 4 mile one that kicked my butt this past year, and another one in March, late March, I believe. So I think March 29th, whatever. Capital City Classic, I believe, is what it is. Which was kind of my possibly my favorite one. You and I talked about this off the air. So it's what I PR'd in this past year, the 10K, running through downtown Little Rock. Very fun race, very well done. So yeah, it looks like I'll be missing that one. I'll be pacing a race in Fayetteville that morning uh, next year, 2025. Of course, we're 3 days away from the new year, but still next year. So I won't be iron. I won't have an iron season. And I had said last week, I'll probably do about anywhere between 12 and 14. And now I'm like, well, I really should do as many as I can to, place as well as I can. So I'm just doing the evolution of Graham when it comes to this race series, apparently. So, or just being indecisive. I don't know. Which is it?
I don't really know. I think it's not necessarily indecisive. It's just that you want to do it, but you're like, I don't know if I can. And then you see that you can, and you're like, well, maybe I can. And it's just, I feel like it is more of an evolution of the process.
Sure, we'll go with that. I mean, I knew I wanted to iron my first year in the Grand Prix because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to place or not. So I at least want to leave the award ceremony with one plaque. And it turns out I got second in my age group. But I know I can't iron the next season. One, there's 22 races now opposed to 20. But at the same time, it's like, well, I don't want to do it for nothing. I want to leave with a plaque after next year. So I really should do as many as I can so that I can make sure that I do place somewhere. I mean, feasibly, I could do 20 of the 22, at least as of right now. I don't know that I'll do that, but we'll see what happens. Because one guy did like 8 or 9 races or something like that for this past season and placed because you just got a top 5. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But second place sounds a lot better than fifth place too. So there's that. There's all that. And the Three Bridges Marathon is the reason I bumped from third to second. So maybe doing that again next year. I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, what have you been up to, Michelle? You've had a significant amount of time off. You're still off work
And
through most of next week. Lucky you. I did get Christmas Day off. How was your Christmas, by the way?
it was good. I spent it with a friend, and her family. So we had a late lunch and just chilled on the couch. We watched Is It Cake? That's one of the things that we do is we watch like baking shows, and Is It Cake is one of the ones that we watch the most.
It's an actual show. I know what it is without even having to ask. It's like, is it cake or isn't it the thing that it looks like?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's a baking competition, so they're like realistic bakers. So the idea is it follows the bakers, and it's not just like a game show.
Okay, sounds thrilling. Christmas Day, I hung out with mom's side of the family, did that Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Eve afternoon, we didn't do the traditional Christmas breakfast that we do at when it's really early in the morning, which I like, but we instead had I made Mexican food for lunch, and my my aunt, wow, my aunt makes some bomb Mexican food, and so we did that for lunch and hung out for a bit. Then I went to my dad's or we exchanged gifts at my mom's, and then I went to my dad's with the rest of my siblings, and then we minus my sister who spent the holiday in I don't know somewhere outside of the state. She did have to work Christmas Day, so there was that. But she made it for Thanksgiving, so 1 out of 2 ain't bad. But did that, hung out, ate. My brother made a roast that was pretty good, and we did gifts there. And then I went home and got ready for bed and got up and went to work the next day. It was a pretty good week of work. Monday was awful. Monday was terrible, terrible shift. And the rest of the week was smooth sailing pretty much. So probably going to have something similar to that this week. Monday's probably going to be terrible, and then the rest of the week may or may not be smooth sailing. I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty early into this new gig still, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. But we do have a fitness center at this hospital, so I was able to go up to administration on Thursday and say, "Hey, I'd like this. I'd like access to this." So they hooked me up with that, and I decided to test it out Friday. It was a good day to run outside Friday, but I had already had it in my mind. I'm gonna try this fitness center out. And I got about a mile. I was like, I'm gonna do a 4.5 mile run. And I got about a mile into it and realized why I enjoy running outside more. Just running on the hamster wheel for 40 minutes or whatever it was, I mean, you're just sitting there. I'd look up at the TV every so often, but even then, that's not natural to look up and do that. Although it wasn't too bad, especially with my neck. But wanted to give the fitness center a shot. And I mean, it was a good treadmill. I got a good workout in. So no complaints there. And it is kind of nice to get off work and then just basically go straight up and work out and get that done and then leave. But at the same time, I mean, come home, I can let the dog out earlier and change and then go for my run in a more enjoyable environment outdoors if the temperature's right. And it was Friday. And I can't get over this cough today. Um, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. It was a good week of running last week. It's a good day to run today, but like I said, I'm not going to do it. Hopefully, we'll have similar temps this coming week, and I can do some running outdoors. But with the January and February months coming, I figured it was a good idea to go ahead and get myself access to the gym because I don't want to run when it's too cold outside. But I don't have another race on the calendar until January 25th. And then I'll probably turn around and do the 1 hour track run in Russellville the next day on the 26th. So I'll probably have a full weekend of running there, but nothing until then. So I've got about a month off until I do an actual race. My running club does have a New Year's Day run at 8 a.m., but I think I'd rather sleep in instead and just stay up and watch football or something, or just anything else. Just not going to bed early to get up to go run. As much as I enjoy it, if it's not an official race, probably going to stay at the house and stay in bed longer. I had a great weekend of sleeping, by the way. I haven't had many weekends this year where I've gotten 2 days of sleeping in. So it was nice to do that this weekend. I feel very refreshed. I'm going to attempt to get to bed semi early tonight. We know how that goes, though. But yeah, I'm going to attempt to get to bed early tonight and I don't know, go to work with a decent night's sleep, a really good night's sleep. I'll put it that way. Um, so we talked about your Christmas. What have you been up to the rest of the time, Michelle?
Um, Not a whole lot, just a lot of relaxing. I am dog sitting this weekend, so I've got two extras here today. But yeah, I'm not doing a lot. I am enjoying just relaxing and not doing anything. I'm sleeping in, and the dogs are letting me sleep in, which is wonderful. Thursday is going to be rough. Thursday is coming way too soon, and I'm going to have to wake up at 6:30, and that's going to hurt my feelings a little bit.
It is tough to have nearly like 2 weeks off from work or whatever it's been, and then get up and go to work. That's going to be a depressing first day back for you. I still wish I know what it felt like because I don't have that kind of time that I can take off. But I'm envious of you nonetheless. I mean, you still got, a few nights to relax. Four exactly. Well, I guess three.
Yeah.
But I do get New Year's Day off. What day is that? Wednesday?
Okay.
Okay, so Tuesday night should be fun. Um, yeah, I'm really just gonna probably podcast on my other show and watch football, and that'll be my night. Then sleep in New Year's Day. I don't do anything for New Year's anymore, New Year's Eve anymore. When is the last time you did something for New Year's Eve?
Um, Probably when I was moving to Memphis, because I was moving right after New Year's, so it was kind of like a little going away type party, but it was still just like five people at my friend's house.
That's nice though. So like I've done the whole go to like a big gathering and parties and downtown and all that. I've done that and been there, done that, never want to do it again. One, everything's overpriced, whether it's getting in, food, drink, all that, everything's overpriced. You're probably fighting traffic. I mean, cops are everywhere, but necessary for them to be everywhere. I get that. Um, I don't know. And plus, if you go out and you do have a good time, as in drink like with your friends and all that, like I've done, you often feel terrible the next day, and I don't like to do that, and I don't do that anymore, as in drink to excess. And yeah, I'm over that whole scene pretty much. So somebody always has too much to drink and then does something stupid or makes a fool of themselves. And I would much rather just stay at the house and do whatever I want to do, watch football, because there's always really good football, like college football on too. And so I'm just gonna stay at the house and relax and go to bed when I want, and yeah, wake up the next day feeling good. So that's maybe boring, but my kind of night as far as how I'm going to spend New Year's Eve, basically from here on out. Um, but yeah, it's New Year's Eve to me when I was a kid felt kind of like that last stitch, like hanging on to a holiday type of environment. Because you're fresh off of Christmas and then Christmas is over, but you still kind of miss Christmas. And this is like that little hint of, hey, it's a holiday, but it's not the same. Yeah, it's not Christmas. So it's cool to an extent, but and of course, we didn't go out and party, but there'd always be like some kind of gathering or something on New Year's Eve, whether it was at church or a family member's house, something like that. Um, but it just thought that's what it always felt like to me. It's like it was just kind of a way to try to hang on to a holiday type of feeling. And then the ball drops, but it's kind of weird because the ball drops in New York, but it's not the new year where you're at. You're still an hour away. But I don't know. It's cool, I guess, to ring in the new year to an extent. But yeah, I'm over that. I haven't watched the ball drop in years. Is that something you still even bother to do?
If I remember.
See, the last couple of times, it's the what's happened is I'm usually like watching a movie or a show or something, and then I'll just check the time, and it's 12:30 or 1 or something like that. I'm like, oh, it's 2025, and then I just get on with my life. Like it's not a big deal to me anymore.
Yeah. Growing up, New Year's Eve was a big deal in our house because December 31st was my grandfather's birthday, and it's also my sister's birthday. So
Wow.
it
Okay.
was a big deal. My sister always had friends over, always had like a sleepover type party. So I think growing up for me, I always thought it was like a bigger deal than it actually is because in our house it was. Um, and so just like growing up, like, yeah, people make a big deal out of it, but it's not like, I think it's just an excuse for people to like go out and party. And
You
I've
think?
just, and I've just never been a party person. So
Yeah, I've just been there and done that and over it. So I mean, I'm 40 now, but even I mean, at some point in my 30s, I realized, I don't like waking up with headaches. I think I'm just going to stop doing that. And so that's what I did. I just said, I'm not going to drink like that anymore. Um, so, but you're right. I mean, that's what it is, just an excuse for people to party. Going back to what you said, is it? I mean, but that's pretty cool, though. I mean, there's probably a lot of good memories there for you. So you probably have a lot of, fond memories of that. Um, I do too, I guess, just not to that extent. It's basically just get-togethers and things like that, but mainly when I was younger. Um, Now I've had fun with my friends and stuff too on New Year's Eve, but it's I don't know, nothing that I'm like want to do again or anything like that. But going back to what you said, like my great grandfather, his birthday was on Christmas Eve. So I almost saw Christmas Eve and still kind of do to an extent. Uh, I view Christmas Eve and Christmas Day almost like the same because both days like Christmas Eve, like the night, evening, we'd all get together. I mean, we'd all get together and a lot of times either exchange some gifts from that side of the family or we'd have a celebration, for my great grandpa because it was his birthday. And of course he died when I was 8, but I mean those are some prime years for Christmas, when you're in that 8 years old range. And so it was a lot of good memories there. And so Christmas Eve, I don't know if it's a big deal to a lot of people, but it is on my side of the family. So I kind of equate Christmas Day and Christmas Eve the same as far as, I don't know, just having a good time or enjoying the holiday, if that makes any sense.
It does. Growing up, Christmas Eve was when we celebrated like with extended family. So we'd always go to like my uncle's house, and it was, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. We were all there. So Christmas Eve was always kind of a bigger deal for our family because that's when we would celebrate. And then obviously Christmas morning was just with like your immediate family, which is also just as great. But we did Christmas Eve up until my grandparents passed. So it was always like I knew Christmas Eve I was spending it with my family, and then Christmas Day was kind of whatever. So
Yeah, and plus, like a lot of time, like Christmas Day, there are many years where after breakfast or lunch, it felt like it was over. We just all kind of did our own thing after that. And it was almost like it's almost like Halloween too. And I say this because basically when October hits, I celebrate Halloween like all year, like the whole month, the whole month, horror movies, etc. And then when Halloween Day actually comes, it's almost like it's over. It's already over. It's like, well, tomorrow's not here anymore. Christmas is kind of the same way. I feel like. I mean, of course, you enjoy the day, but you're like, well, this is it. Afterwards, it's a wrap. Although I still have my tree up and turn my lights on, all that, and I'll do that at least through New Year's Day, which the city of Cabot does too. All the Christmas lights are still on, and the decorations are up downtown. They'll take those down probably New Year's Day. They're pretty quick about that when 2020, well, the new year hits. But yeah, so you and I kind of have similar experiences then when it comes to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day type of thing. Again, we're a running podcast, but we're a life podcast too. So just to reiterate to everyone, while we're talking about this extra stuff, um, plus it's a slow season right now for racing. I did yesterday. I woke up. I said I was going to read some, and I did. I did later that afternoon, but I basically got it and I said, what I had done, I had written, I don't have a printed schedule or anything of my races next year. So I had just been kind of writing them down as I go. And the dates are all kind of all over the place. So I said, I'm going to sit and put them down like in order, like the earliest to the latest as far as what I've already registered for. So I did that yesterday. I spent the morning yesterday doing that or early afternoon. And yeah, got everything organized because, of course, my pacing schedule is there's quite there. It's growing. I'm doing more and more of them as more of those opportunities come to Arkansas. So, and putting that with the Grand Prix, it leads to a busy schedule of running. So I got that all organized yesterday. So I'm in a pretty good spot now as far as getting everything lined up and what I want to do later on, etc. But I did that yesterday. I'm at 35. I've done 35 official half marathons. I calculated. And by next spring, I'll be in the 40s. Or by the end of next spring, I'll be in the 40s. So long way to go till still to 100. But once I hit like 50, then I'll feel like, okay, it's like possible. Like, because there were times where I thought this isn't going to be possible, especially before any pacing opportunities came around this area. But yeah, once I hit the 50s, I mean the 40s, it's like okay, that's a big deal. But the 50s, it'll be like okay, I just got to do that again, and then I've done it. Okay, what all do you have going on for the rest of the day, Michelle?
I'm gonna make dinner and take
You've had
these.
you've had so much to contribute to this podcast as far as activities go.
I'm gonna take these puppers back to their home. Um, and that's about it. I this winter break, and this has always kind of been a thing for me. Winter break is a true break. It is a true reset. I don't do anything unless I have to. Um, so I have not been a super productive person, and that's okay because we all need a break. We all need time to just chill and not do anything. And I take this break very seriously. And I always have, like since I've started working, because I have been lucky that I always get winter break off. So this has been just one of those things that this is a time where I don't do anything.
I don't know that I've done that in my adult life the last several years. I don't know that I can. Now yesterday, no, even then I did a lot of stuff. I did things around here. I don't have now last Saturday, I think it was. I spent most of the day just relaxing and watching football. But even at the end of the night, like I got productive. I don't know. I've always got to be doing something. Whether it's for those of you that don't know or it's not obvious, I am the founder of Rhino Races, and it's picked up significantly in the last year. So I've been updating the website for that, keeping track of orders, etc. And I'm very grateful for that. But at the same time, it does mean, I mean, you're going to be busier, but also, um, whether it's, I don't know, I just got to feel like I feel like I have to be doing something. Now I'll sit down and watch a football game, but it's, I don't know, it's hard for me to just sit and do nothing. So I don't watch a lot of movies. Like I watch like a TV show episode or something like that. But I don't have a lot of time or maybe patience for that. I don't know. Now you and I did watch a movie Friday. Now you can't. Yeah, we hung out Friday. We watched the Razorback bowl game. I did make it a point to watch that. I mean, that's my school, and they're in a bowl game, which they won. Woo pig, by the way. Um, yeah, what did you think of the MVP trophy of the Liberty Bowl? First of all,
It was massive when we were watching and they had showed the trophies at one point, and I was like, why are there two? Because they are both huge trophies. And there was like an eagle and a bell. And I'm like, why do they have an eagle when this is the Liberty Bowl? So obviously it's going to be the Liberty Bell. Um, and then you were like, I don't know, it's probably like the MVP or something. And it was. And that thing is huge. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I knew that was the MVP trophy because Arkansas goes to the Liberty Bowl quite a bit, and KJ Jefferson got it the last time they were there, which was 2 or 3 years ago. And so I knew that was probably probably the MVP trophy. Of course, Taylor Green got it Saturday or Friday night, deservedly so. He played a heck of a game. Um, Still blown away that he had 341 pass yards on 11 completions. Still very wild to me. But again, shout out to my Razorbacks on getting the bowl win. One good thing about Sam Pittman, 3-0 in bowl games as the head coach of the Razorbacks. So shout out Coach Pittman on that. 7-6, good year as far as I'm concerned, especially for what I was expecting going in. I'll save the rest of that though for my sports podcast Tuesday, Shoe Booty Sports. For those of you wondering, quick shout out there. But then you and I mean, it was still kind of early in the night. So we watched a movie after one that was 2 hours long, hour and 51 minutes, whatever it was. Fridays, I'm very tired because I don't get, I'll average anywhere between, I don't know, 4 to 6 hours of sleep. 6 hours is a really good night during the week that I have to work. So when Friday comes, I'm usually very tired. It's not abnormal for me to fall asleep in my recliner on Friday nights, and then I'll wake up around 5:30 a.m. and then go crawl in the bed. I don't mean to fall asleep there, but I'm watching something, and then I can't keep my eyes open, and I'll say, "All right, I'll get up in just a sec," and then I wake up at 5:30 a.m. and say, "All right, maybe I need to go crawl in the bed now." But you and I watched a movie, Boy Kills World. It's something I was interested in, not just like, "Ooh, I want to see this," but it just seemed like an interesting flick that I would like. And what were your thoughts on it, for
Um,
one?
I thought it was an okay movie. It was not, I guess it was kind of exactly like the trailer made it out to be. It's a revenge movie. Um,
But
and
kind of funny too, like in parts. It
yeah,
had it had very Kill Bill type of vibes to it to an extent, but like a little more comical.
yeah, there were parts that were just like really funny and I it was really good and there's a twist in the movie that um somebody completely missed because they were
I
snoring.
No, I heard and saw the twist. I was fading in and out, but I got the gist of it and I could hear it. Just because my eyes were closed, I
And you were
made it fall
snoring.
asleep. I could still hear it though.
I could barely hear it with you snoring so loud.
Well, again, I was very tired, but that did perk me up. I kind of got my second wind after that. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm back. And but yet no, there were points, I'm not gonna lie, there were points in the movie, especially before that scene, that I almost said, "Hey, I need to go to bed. I'm not gonna make it. I need to go to sleep. So we need to wrap this up." I
I
almost did that a couple of times.
I even said that at one point. Like I was like, I probably should go home because it's getting late and I'm sleepy. And because it there were parts that were just like boring and did not keep your interest at all.
Yeah, it was an okay movie. It's probably a better movie to have like on in the background. The end is pretty good, I thought. Um, but it's yeah, I mean it's the way you described it. Um, it's hard to kind of keep your focus from start to finish on it. I mean it was fun, but it's not like a masterpiece or anything like
Yeah.
that. As far as the rest of the day goes, what do you have planned, Michelle?
You've already asked me that question.
Okay, well, I asked it again. I forgot. I had other stuff going on that I'm paying. Well, it's not even a good game. There's the Bills and Jets going on in the back. Well, it was, and the Bills have just smoked them. So, okay, sorry for well, tell us something else I haven't asked Michelle.
Um, I have no idea.
Okay, all right. Well, I'd say we'll do a better job being prepared on the next episode, but we won't. This is something we click record and just go, and it's more fun to me that way. I wasn't going to do any cold medicine, but this cough is telling me I probably need a Theraflu thing when I get off of here. Um, but I've had my coffee, and so I don't need any more of that. I've been on my computer most of the day. I haven't even really watched football or anything like that. But yeah, I don't really have anything. I did go buy eggnog last night. Like I did the only time I left the house yesterday, because again, it was a nasty day. It was a perfect day to just sit inside and not do much. I ended up doing stuff, but from inside. Like it was a nasty day. I left yesterday evening, like I don't know, about 6:30, and I went and got some eggnog just because I don't know, I wanted some eggnog. I mean, I just had one glass, but like I didn't have any for Christmas, and I figured they'd have it on clearance at the liquor store, so that's what I did. I went and got some eggnog. It was a good call. I enjoyed it, and then I got my large cherry Coke Zero at Sonic while I was out there. I had to go to the one on Second Street though because the one on Bill Foster, the new one, the new fancy one, wasn't was temporarily not doing online orders, and you get half off. It's always happy hour if you order on the app. So of course, so I just went to Second Street. I was like, no, I'm not going to pay double. I'm going to Second Street, which is kind of on the way home anyway. Like either way, it's pretty much equal distance to get back to the house. Um, but as far as today goes, I'll probably sit on my computer for a little bit longer. May do some Rhino Races stuff. May watch a little football later. I don't know. Um, Speaking of football, I guess we'll get out of here on this. You check the fantasy football scores.
No.
Well, this is pretty much a wrap, but let's do that for fun, just because I haven't checked anything because I'm just in the fifth place game. I did look a day or two ago, and I was getting smoked, or the guy was projected to like kill me, and he's still projected to win.
Let's see. Golly. Oh, well,
Aladdin, he had a game.
it would have helped if I would have looked because multiple of my people are out.
I like how Devontae Smith has decided to turn it on here at the end of the season. He's been on my bench pretty much ever since. But what was I going to do? Start him over Cooper Cup? Now, had I done that, I'd probably beat this guy. But again, it's for the fifth place game.
I will lose because I had multiple people out that I did not pay attention to. So it was just, I have 38 points this week. So
So the number one guy, now the championship game, it's two guys that are 10-4. But the favorite is projected to lose this week. Now there is another week after this, I believe. So it's not over. Uh, wow, Michelle, that's impressive.
isn't it?
I'm looking at your score. Did
I
you just
know.
bench everyone?
No, two people are out that normally score pretty high. I did not look at it. So that's how that's what happened. I got 38 points this week.
Okay, I'm losing 133 to 130. Now I have one person in play. He's got one person in play. He's projected to get 153, so I don't know where that's coming from. But Michelle's current score in the third place game is 118 to 38. Michelle is 38. The person she's playing is projected to get 144 points, while Michelle is projected to get 61.9. That's
There's no way,
amazing.
there's no way that's happening though, because I only have one person who hasn't played.
Okay, everyone that you've had play is single digits,
Yeah,
anywhere
it's
between
bad.
8.9 points to 3. Tua is out, who you have starting. Chuba Hubbard is on the IR, so he's done for the year, and you have him starting. Nobody else is lighting it up on your bench. Two people, including a defense, have double-digit points on your bench. So yeah, it's just yeah, it's that's impressive to score that low of a total. Now, granted, again, it's a third place game. At least it's not the championship game, but goodness.
Well, I'm gonna come in fourth place.
It appears that way.
It's okay.
And yeah, it's fine. Again, it's not the doesn't really matter at that point.
No.
But will you do fantasy football again next year? Did you have enough fun? Well, how's your other league doing? Because you haven't mentioned that in a while.
So I was in I think I think it was the same. Um, I don't remember to be honest. Let's find
Same
out.
what?
I think I was fourth place since I went up against first, lost third place. I'm gonna
But you
double
made the playoffs.
I did. I was third place. Um, so I went up against second place and I lost. And then I am also going to lose this third place game. Um, for kind of the same reason. I've got a couple people, I've got one person out. Um, I scored 39.4 points.
Wow. And you don't even have an excuse. Like you're done with law school and haven't been doing anything.
This is not a priority for me. It has
Well,
not been.
we
And
can see that.
like I have been doing other things with my time.
Well, I would hope.
Yeah.
But okay, again, are you going to do it again next year? And what did you have more fun than you thought you would?
No.
You didn't have more fun than you thought you would?
No, it's just stressful. Like it just adds another to do, something to do to my already long to-do list.
I
Uh,
don't buy that. I think you've had fun the weeks that you were successful.
I mean, again, it's still just adding a to-do on my to-do list. Like I don't, especially like with school and stuff, that is just one thing that I can't just add another thing to. There were so many times this week that I did not check before 11 a.m. or whatever and screwed it up because that's not something that I want to be thinking about when I have 20,000 other things to do.
I don't think it's 20,000, but I get the point. Um, well, I will be doing it again next year, but in a different league. I got an invite to join a 14 team league, like a big one that everybody takes seriously, one that I've been trying to kind of get into for years now. But they finally had a spot open up and got in touch with the commish yesterday and or last night, and I'm in. So, and they have a really cool way to determine draft order. They do an NCAA bracket, and based on how your bracket does, that determines where you're at in the draft order. So I think that's a pretty cool and unique way to do it. So I will be doing it. I mean, I'd do it anyway, but it's a more fun way to do it when you're involved with like my best friends in it, and stuff like that. It's more kind of incentive, and it's taken more seriously rather than you're just grouped together with a bunch of people you don't know in a public league. So I do look forward to that, but I'd be playing either way. It's fun to me though. I don't see it as a stress type of thing. If anything, it de-stresses me. I get to play I mean, my dream job would be like a general manager of a pro football team. So to be able to do that is, uh, yeah, a lot of fun for me. Um, but yeah, that's all that's going on in our world. It looks like super boring week. or not boring for me necessarily, but nothing too thrilling to talk about. I do plan to get my run in. I don't know how many next week, or if I'll be running outside or inside. I actually have options now, so just weather pending will determine where I run. Which I may pack a bag tonight for the gym just in case. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But as far as exercise and stuff goes, that's what I plan to do. Just do some more running next week. Days to be determined as far as how that happens, and other stuff I've been putting off on the side, trying to take care of that in the meantime. But I've got nothing else to add, Michelle. I assume you don't either. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your week off. Have a happy new year, everyone. It'll be 2025 when you see us again. So be safe New Year's Eve if that's your thing. If it's not your thing, be safe anyway. Enjoy your time relaxing at home and not having a headache the next day, like me and probably Michelle. But until then, this is Tough Friends Don't Last podcast, and we will see y'all next time.
See ya.